If you are no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stop judging yourself, would you make different choices? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach, Christine McIver.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am so thrilled to say welcome to 2018. Yes, we made it, folks. There was question in our world, but we did make it. Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy that you're here tonight. We are talking about Yippie! Now what? Interesting subject, I know. It's probably nothing we've ever heard before, but it's all about what we do once all of the bells and whistles and all the confetti has dropped. What are we going to actually be stepping into? So my name is Christine McIver. I am the host of the Inspired Choices Radio Show, and I am here to really invite you into what turns you on, lights you up, and absolutely inspires you to greater in your world. You know, what really inspires me is seeing people step into all that they truly be. It is something that lights up my world, and it's something that has always lit up my world. It's funny, I was talking to some friends earlier tonight, and when I see people winning, it makes me so excited, and I believe that everyone can be a winner when they're following their heart, when they're really reaching and sometimes digging deep in order to have that happen. So tonight, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about what it is that we can be doing now that all the bells and whistles have gone quiet, now that, you know, the champagne cork has been popped, the confetti has been thrown, and now the moment where the possibilities really start to hit the road. What magic is going to be available to us? What do we desire, and what are we willing to be and do to have that created? So that's what we're going to be talking about. Before we get into tonight's show, I'd like to tell you a little bit about me. Actually, first I want to tell you about last week. If you did not hear last week's show, it was so phenomenal. I had a very, very special guest on my show, Melissa Jelinek, and Melissa is a very brilliant woman. She has so many capacities. She's phenomenal with bodies. She's phenomenal with graphics. She's a wizard with communication and connection with people, and she is absolutely a psychic. That's one of her greatest capacities, and we actually had her on doing predictions, and she has a new program called Being a Superior Asshole. And I know I just whispered that, but that's what it's called, because what we're oftentimes, when people are telling us what to do, that's what we think they are. She's willing to be that if you'd like to choose it. And it was such a brilliant, brilliant show. We had so much fun. It went so quickly. And she actually has, if you check it out and you'd like to join her program, you've got to check that out on Facebook. It is so phenomenal. So that was in last week's radio show. The last Wednesday in December, and I don't remember the date, but I think it's December 27th. So just go over, check out Inspired Choices Radio with myself, Christine McIver, and you'll see the replay there. So a little bit about me. I am one of these people that loves to do a lot of different things. I have a lot of joy when I'm doing a lot of different things. And it kind of reminds me of when I used to watch my mom make dinner. She would have so many things going at the same time. It's like one of those musicians that they're playing every instrument simultaneously. That's what it was like when I would watch my mother make dinner, and that's what it's like when I'm working in my world. And it's actually play. When I am doing many, many different things and enjoying many different things, it's play to me. And some of these things that I do is, first of all, I'm a radio show host and producer, and I'm honored to be the creator of the Inspired Choices Network. And I have a fabulous team that we work together in concert, and we create this amazing platform every day. That's one of the things that I like to do. I also am a business coach. I'm a personal coach. I work with people regarding relationships, regarding self-esteem, maybe even in the area of career, which direction they would like to go in. I've been in human resources for 25 years. I also love to teach people about social media, work with them about their websites. I actually create websites. And I do a lot of different things regarding teaching. So I teach people the different modalities, a couple different modalities with access consciousness. I also teach people about divorce with dignity. And those are just some of the programs. And then one of the new ones that's coming out is Being the Dominatrix of Your Life. And the book for that actual program is going to be launched this year. So those are just some of the things I do. But the biggest thing that I do is I invite you into more possibilities. So I am a possibilities coach. And if you're looking this year especially, if you're ready to have more possibilities show up, be created, invited into your life, your relationships, your body, your business, I'd love to work with you. I'd love to show you how much fun and ease we can have in changing those ceilings that you've hit, or maybe those stuck positions or places where you just can't see beyond where you are right now. So do connect with me. You can do so through the Inspired Choices Radio, or you can do so at my website, inspiredchoices.ca. So, on to tonight's show. So tell me, folks, did you have a great New Year's Eve? Did you have a great New Year's? What about the rest of the holidays? Is there a lot of excitement going on? Does anybody ever actually experience kind of like a lunch bag letdown, kind of like falling off a cliff after all that excitement? Do you ever just kind of hit rock bottom and go, okay, now what? Now what am I supposed to do? Now which way do I turn? There are so many times that I've personally experienced that, and I feel nearly paralyzed in what I'm going to choose and how to choose it and what's going to make things change. And oftentimes what I've done is I've looked to my past and said, I don't want that to happen again. I don't want that to happen again. I don't want that to happen again, right? We look over maybe our past year or our past number of years, or maybe you're at a significant point in your life and you're just like, wow, the last 10 years or whatever the case may be, I don't want to do that again. And we're looking at what we don't want, and we're choosing from that place. And what does that actually create for you? When you're choosing from the place of what you do not want, it's kind of like you're choosing against the things that you didn't like. And what actually has us choose is something very similar to what we've already had, because we're still connected to the energy of that, right? So what I'd like to invite you into is kind of wiping the slate clean. Even if you were in that space all day today or, for the last 10 years, doesn't matter. Would you be willing to wipe the slate clean? One of the things that I love about the month of September, especially here in Canada, is the going back to school, the getting all of the fresh new books and papers and new pens and everything fresh. And it gives me this insurgence of starting anew, of every single solitary thing is possible now. Taking all of the old and letting it go. It's kind of like if you have clothes that no longer fit you, let them go. If you have food in your home that you're no longer interested in eating, give it to somebody else, donate it. What would your world be like if today, right now, you were to allow yourself to let go of all of those judgments and wipe the slate clean? Because you know what? You can't create something new if you've got all the old crap in there, right? So that's step number one. Wipe the slate clean. Allow yourself right now to begin from where you are. Just begin from where you are. If you're in a shitty space, it's okay. Be there. If you're in a great space, cool. Be there. If you're somewhere in between and you don't even know where that is, no problem. Be there. But start from there. The next thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to turn off all your social media. I'd like you to actually stop looking outside of you. I'd like you to please stop comparing yourself. Stop comparing your business. Stop comparing your body. Stop comparing your bank account. Stop comparing your love affairs. Stop comparing your relationships. Stop comparing every damn thing that you be and do. Because the only place that's going to take you is down into another December of regret. Hands up, how many people at some time, if not this past December, but at some time, has felt deep regret when it comes to December? Like, I didn't hit it. I didn't make it. Oh my God, all those things that I wanted to have. See, I believed it in September, but I don't believe in it now. Truth. Right? I love what Patty said in the chat room. Thank you guys all for coming to join me in the chat room. It's so awesome to see you all. Patty says, the old saying, most of our unhappiness comes from comparing ourselves to others. It's so true. When you're comparing yourself to someone else, what you're actually saying is you're taking a measuring stick and you're measuring what's good about what they're doing and 99.9% of the time measuring what's not good in comparison to what's good about them, what's not good about you. Where does that actually lead you? That leads you down the hall of regret into the school of crazy, into the deep, dark bowels of sadness. Now, if you're in that place of sadness, how are you going to step beyond where you've ever been before? You're not. And guys, I can tell you, and I can have witness to this, that I have hit so many deep, dark spaces in my life. And I've had so much regret and so much judgment against myself. I know this very, very intimately. And I also know that you can take a step forward even if you are there. And I'm telling you right now that if you don't, you're not going to change it. So even if you could only just play Let's Pretend with Christine tonight, just play Let's Pretend. Let's pretend everything Christine's saying is right. I want to challenge you there. All right? Just go with me tonight, okay? Put everything else aside. Okay, cool. And just take a breath. Just take a breath. Everything that I've ever desired is still available to me. And in fact, I know it's already been created. One of the greatest things that we can do is be willing to receive. But we're not going to jump there right now. The biggest thing that I would love for you all to do is to allow yourself to wipe the slate clean tonight while we play. Wipe the slate clean and allow yourself to start fresh, to no longer be riddled with what isn't working. Because from that space, you just can't see the great stuff, okay? You just can't allow yourself to have even more. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take a few minutes, and while we go to our next break, and we're going to breathe, just allow yourself to be present, be in your body. Yeah, and breathe. And just allow the universe to contribute some beautiful energy to your body. And I want you to expand the space of your being. I want you to just allow yourself to expand beyond where you've been. And breathe. Keep breathing, my friends. Nice, deep breaths. Awesome. Now, when we get back from break, we're going to dive deeper into some very practical next steps. I would love, love, love for you to please come into the chat room, ask your questions, or better yet, I'd like to challenge you to call in and ask me your question live, all right? We all love to hear input from other people, and I would love to contribute to you if that's something that would work for you. Okay, my friends, you are listening to myself, Christine McIver, on the Inspired Choices radio show here on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're talking tonight about Yippie! Now what? Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this short commercial break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
How long have you been waiting to uncloak your magic? To allow the magic within you to rise and catalyze into an extraordinary life deep down you know is possible. Live Your Magic is a 2.5-day experience that will move you beyond your mind, ignite your body, and activate the magic that is you. If you are ready to radically tap into your desires, generate more aliveness in your body and your life, then join us at a Live Your Magic event somewhere in the world. Go to megansolito.com and click on events to learn more today. That's MEGANSILLITO.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The Pleasure of Business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736 or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm having fun in the chat room. I'm being called out again for not being a good girl that I think I am, but no, I'm definitely a girl that likes to have fun. So before we went for break, we were talking about, what it's really like to kind of begin. And my challenge to you and my invitation to you was to wipe the slate clean. And let's start from there. Let's start from that space of wiping the slate clean. Now, a lot of people, how many of you actually dread Mondays? Anybody dread Mondays? Do you wake up and go, oh, God, it's Monday again? You know what? I'm a little weird, and I'm a little different than a lot of people. I actually really like Mondays. I'll tell you why I really like Mondays. It's because of the energy of a clean slate again. I really love the idea of beginning anew. How many of you, if you were to change your perspective about beginning anew, would actually start to infuse more of what you say that you're willing to receive and what you say that you desire? Right? Well, we've got some yeses in the chat room. We've got some not really. Yeah, well, that's cool. But my invitation to you tonight is if you were to change your perspectives even slightly on some of the things I'm going to share, would that actually begin to infuse what you desire even greater? And you know what? A lot of people beat themselves up around the beginning of the year. A lot of people, you know, they put a great deal of pressure on themselves around starting out of the gate at a huge momentum, right? And then they, you know, if you try to run 10 miles and you've never even ran a half a mile, you're likely going to fall down before you hit 10 miles, right? So when we put these huge momentous goals on our backs out of the gate of the new year, we oftentimes find ourselves falling and failing. And I don't believe there's any failing as long as you're taking a step, but that's what often goes on in our minds, right? Here's the thing, is that if you could begin to take some bigger steps than you took yesterday, and you were to continue that each and every day, you will get to the end of your week, your month, and your year, and you will have made a large shift. Now, one of the big things that I've said for many, many years, if one additional step each day, that's 365 new steps in a year. That's huge. That is a huge shift. But most of us are stopping ourselves in the space of judgment that we're not doing enough. Now, I am going to challenge you, and I am going to say, if you desire something different, you can't just sit and om all day long. You can't just meditate. You can't just repeat something over and over again and believe that repeating it will change something, all right? For instance, if you're in a relationship and that relationship needs repairing, you need to take some action. You need to maybe own up to your part in it. You maybe need to actually apologize and mean it and really do a little, like I say, check up from the neck up with yourself, right? You've got to do something different if you desire to create that relationship in a more prosperous way. If you desire to have more money in your bank account, you might need to get off the couch and you might need to take a second job. You might need to take a third job. What are you doing that is actually not creating greater? Ask yourself, what actions am I taking that I know, and I've known all along, that they're not creating greater for me, right? One of the things that I've done is very easily, definitely in the past, not so much now, I got lost. I lost myself in TV because I didn't really want to look at what wasn't coming my way and what I was actually creating. Now, I can say that hasn't been the case for sure for the last 5 years, but it can be a place where we go and hide. So where are you hiding in your life? Where are you hiding in your desires, in your fantasy world? What do you know would change that? Would you be willing to look at it? Now, I have not gotten rid of my TV because I actually really enjoy TV. But I'll tell you what I do. And I just said do-do. I tell you what I do. And this was something that was challenging. It's often challenging entrepreneurs. If you work from home, it's so easy to get sucked into, your TV or taking a nap or doing housework or, getting distracted with the family, right? I have a dedicated space for my office, and I walk into my office at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I don't take breaks just nilly-willy. I'm very diligent with myself around you are your own employee. You have to take the actions that are required to create the business that you desire. Okay? Now that's a good one, Faith's talking about cleaning out her inbox. Do you find yourself getting distracted in social media and ignore your inbox? Or do you play around in your inbox, ignoring actually doing your bookkeeping? Ignore all of your clients, not actually contacting them, not putting together your newsletter, maybe not showing up to your job on time, maybe not really getting clear of what it is that's going on with your finances. If you desire something different, you know this adage, you guys, this is not something new. You've got to choose something different. So here's one of the biggest things, and if you've ever been involved in any of my business classes, you will have heard me say this before. One of the biggest things is to eat the frog first. Okay? Eat the frog first. Now, it's a wonderful, I can't remember who it's by, and I'm sure somebody in the chat room will tell me shortly. It's this wonderful video, and it talks about stepping into and handling your big task first thing in the morning. Handling your big task first thing in the morning. And when you do that, the rest of your day gets easier. And it truly does. And you know why it gets easier? Because you don't have this big task screaming in the back of your head all the day through, right? You will start to look at it. And even if you didn't get to handle the whole thing, when you start to look at that, it starts to change very, very quickly. Now, here's the thing. As we begin this new year or a new week, Brian Tracy, thank you very much. Brian Tracy, fabulous video. As you begin this new year, as you begin your business, your life, your relationships, as you clean the slate, what I'd like you to do is get really present with yourself. And I would like you to ask yourself one question. If I could celebrate December of 2018 one thing, what would make my heart sing greater than anything else that I accomplished in 2018? Truth. What would it be? Be willing to be with that. And then, whatever that is, I want you to then begin to be the architect of creating that. And how do you do that? You break it down. You break it down in steps. So if, let's say, buying a brand new car, $40,000, let's call it that, right? Buying a brand new car, $40,000, you would like to have that. If that's your goal, okay? I'm going to show you how you can do that. So the first thing you do is you take the $40,000 and you divide it by 52, right? And that's going to give you how much you need to make each week. So that's an extra $769.23. Now, that's weekly. Now, if you take that and you divide that by 40 hours, and if you're an entrepreneur, you're not working just 40 hours. We know that. But I'm going to do this in this order. If you break that down, that's an extra $19.23 an hour. Okay? So, what could you do to earn an extra $20 an hour every week? I'll tell you what I did today. I spent a great deal of my time today creating a shop for products that I have. And that's going to bring in some passive income, right? It's going to bring in a flow of income that I don't have to expend more hours of work on. So what is it for you? Is there an affiliate program you could get associated with? Is there a side job where you could be making an extra, we're talking about an extra about $100 a day. What's one thing you could be doing every day to make an extra $100? That's not a big thing. Now break it down, my friends. Break it down. Faith says, I hope there are butter tarts in that shop. I do like to make butter tarts, but no, Faith, that's not something that's going to be in my shop. Maybe another lifetime I'll have a physical shop with butter tarts in it. What is it that you desire to celebrate at the end of 2018 that if you started to break it down like I did, that you could actually create it? Now, let's say it's a book. Let's say the book is 4,000 pages, right? Well, if the book's 4,000 pages, you need to write how many pages a week, guys? 80 pages a week. And that breaks it down to 2 pages an hour for the next year. Do you get what I'm saying? You start to break it down. If you want to increase your sales in your business, you break it down. How much do I have to sell per week, per day? And then start to look at the different things that you sell, right? Okay, if I sold 4 of those and 3 of those extra a week, that's going to get me to my target, right? Stop rolling your eyes, Rhonda. Yes, I do the numbers. I do the numbers because you know what? As you begin to break things down, they become manageable. But when you see a mountain at the end of December that you didn't reach, it's pretty difficult to imagine that you're going to reach it the next year. So I would really love to invite you to break it down. You've got to start with the goal and then come backwards from it. And it doesn't have to be a huge step every day. Now, if you want to take huge steps, that's great. Do you have that much time to invest? Faith says the numbers are hot as F. Exactly. I think the numbers are very hot. But here's the thing. If you can begin to see the steps that are required and begin to ask some questions about what steps would actually create greater, you can begin to move in the direction of what it is that you need to choose today to get to that target. Because so many of us are creating these great, big, huge things out of the gate in January, and then we fall flat on our face come February. How many people right now are going to the gym and they're 3 days in and they're feeling pretty confident, and we know that 3 weeks in they're going to start to trail off? How many? Right? This is the biggest time for gyms, right? It's huge. Guess when I started going back to the gym? November 25th. I jumped the gun by 5 weeks because I didn't want to have that pressure. And today, it's become a part of my life. So what is it in these baby steps that you could incorporate into your life now? Right? What are those steps that you could be taking? I want you to start looking at that. I want you to really start to look at what is it that I desire to celebrate December of 2018. But if I really followed my knowing on that's my biggest desire, what steps would I need to break down to get there? Now, you don't have to have the steps figured out today, but starting with that clean slate on what you desire can begin to put that question into the universe just by you acknowledging that's your biggest desire. Okay, folks, we're going to go for our second break. You are listening to the Inspired Choices radio show with myself, Kristen McIver, and tonight we're talking about Yippie! Now what? Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this short break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736 or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around tonight. If you're listening live, I so appreciate you being here. And if you're listening to the replay, thank you so much for choosing to listen. Now, you know what? There's so many things that I want to cover. And one of the first things that I want to say is I'm so grateful that for everyone that's been participating in our radio show contest here on the Inspired Choices Network, it has been such an honor to engage with all of these brilliant people that are choosing greater, and it makes me so happy to see people stepping forward into their lives even greater. That turns me on and lights me up more than most people even realize. It's so much fun, and they're so brilliant, and I'm telling you, the choice is going to be very, very difficult to decide who is going to be the winner, but we got to do it. So the producers and I are going to get together, and it's going to be hard, but we are going to choose a winner, and we are going to continue to celebrate each and every one of them that has been participating in the contest. It's been fabulous. So what I would love for you to know is that if you are looking at your business and you're trying to figure out which direction to go in, if you're trying to figure out where to kind of handle everything, I've got some specials I want to share with you. These are my anniversary specials. My business has asked for me to continue to offer them, and so I'm going to. So the first one that I have is I have a business examination consultation. I will work with you for 1 hour for only $77. That's a savings of 70%. And we dive in deep with your business right away and start to give you some more clarity on where you would like to go and where your business would like to go, because we're going to actually talk to your business about this, not just you. So we're going to kind of get you out of the way. Then my second offer is the Pleasure of Business recordings. This was 24 weeks of going over every subject you can imagine, from learning all about YouTube to manipulation to pricing and everything in between. It was a fabulous class. I had so much fun creating it. And you can get those recordings now for only $777. That is a huge savings of 48%. So that is something that I'm telling you, if you're looking for tools, step-by-step, practical, visual, and written tools, that's something that you're going to definitely want to look at. And the third one, and the one that actually people are loving the most, is maybe you don't want to do all the work, but you'd like to hire somebody that will do it and do it quickly and efficiently. Well, that's me. I'm the girl that loves to do business. I'm actually the founder of the Pleasure of Business, as you've heard in the commercials, and I have a business synergy sweep that is regularly priced at $3,000, and you can get it for 50% off for only $1,500. Now, these are not going to stay on sale much longer, but I'm telling you, if you're looking for some assistance with your business, connect with me, and we can chat about what would actually work for you. Now, you know, a lot of people will talk to me about where I'm at with my business, and I have a lot of people that maybe are struggling with their business or they're looking at starting their business, and they kind of look to me in awe. And I got to tell you guys, it makes me laugh. And I'll tell you why it makes me laugh, because that's not where I've always been. You know, I can remember when I first started out, I was really felt like I was floundering all over the place with trying to learn how to actually create money and how to create products and how to put ideas out there. And what I honestly did each and every day is I took another step, and I kept looking at what else could I add to my business. And I was willing to put skin in the game. Are you willing to put skin in the game? Now, I'm not talking about, you know, not having a life. I'm not talking about not enjoying, you know, the people or the experiences around you, but I'm talking about being willing to do what's required and doing more than the average bear. If you're self-employed, you're not going to be working 20 hours a week, most people, okay, out of the gate, and be creating a large income. It's going to take some time for you to build and build and build. But I'm telling you, if you're doing what your heart desired, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting to see your creations come to life. And you know what? There are so many people out there that are in that exact same space, and they can contribute to you. You don't have to do it all. And everywhere you think you have to do it all, would you like to give that up? Would you like to actually start asking some questions about who would contribute to your business and get out of the how you would make that work? But if you don't start looking at that a year from now, you're still going to be the one doing it all yourself. I asked that question, I think it was 3.5 years ago. It was 2014. And so it was about 3.5 years ago. I remember asking that question, and in my head, I was like, oh, God, I don't have the money to pay anybody. And you know what? I was challenged to get out of my head on that and to see what it is that I could create that would be possible. And slowly, things started to unfold. And now I have an amazing team that I work with. And I have a business that's flourishing and growing and expanding all over the world. I mean, my God, if you'd have told me that 5 years ago, I would have said you were crazy. Guys, but you've got to put skin in the game. You've got to be willing to ask the tough questions and be willing to do what it takes and get honest with yourself. I see so many people out there saying, I really want this, but they're not willing to get off the couch. They're not willing to actually do what's required. You've got to really be honest with yourself. Can you look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say, I gave it all? That was a good one. High five. I do. I say that all the time to myself. I honor commitment. I honor the input. I honor that I'm willing to be there for myself and for my business. I am making it happen, and I'm having more fun every single day. Yeah, I'm tired at the end of my days. But I wake up the next day and go, okay, now what? Okay, now what? Because I'm getting movement. But it started with one step a day. You've got to be willing to follow what turns you on and lights you up. And you've got to stop comparing yourself to what other people are doing out there. You know, when I first started, I'm like, but everybody else's, radio show, they've already got so many people following them, or they've already got so many shows that they've done. What am I going to talk about that hasn't already been talked about? What am I going to write in a book that hasn't already been written? What am I going to say in a class that they can't get from everybody else out there? That is crazy making, number one. And number two, I say it different than anybody else in the world says it. Your voice is like your fingerprint. Nobody else has one like it. That needs to be a meme. Your voice, your creation, your knowing is like your fingerprint. It will never be like that with any other person ever again, and it never has been. Are you truly willing to acknowledge the uniqueness that you are, the voice that you have to bring to the world, the creations that are waiting for you to bring them to life? Are you willing to take a step? Are you willing to have more joy in your life? Are you willing to have more adventures? Are you willing to reach out and have people reach back? Are you willing to step into what you know? You came here, my friends. You came to this time and space in this planet to be more than you were the last time you were here. But you've got to step into it. Are you willing to step into it? Are you willing to challenge you? Stop challenging everybody else around you. Challenge you. Put more skin in the game tomorrow than you did today. Take one more step. Make one more phone call. Send one more email. Be willing to say thank you one more time. Be willing to follow your knowing. My friends, you've got this. You totally got this. One step at a time. And I'm not even kidding. Take one step. Take one step tomorrow. And then take another one the day after that. And take another one. And start to build these into your muscles of creation. And you know what? If you've got big mountains to get over, I'll teach you another trick. One of the things that one of our participants in the chat room, I challenged, she had, I think, over 4,000, or maybe I'm wrong. She'll know who she is. Maybe it was over 40,000 emails. I challenged her to clean it up. And I'm not sure how many days it took her, but she went at it full throttle to clean that up. And she didn't stop. She knew that that was going to create glitter. And she was phenomenal at it. Are you willing to face your mountains? Are you willing to face what is really piling up that's creating so much stock, so much intensity, that if you don't, it's going to swallow you up? Over 100,000 emails. 100,000. And how long did that take you, my dear friend, to really clean that up? I would love to know, because she was tenacious with it. She was like, I am doing it. I love this. Rhonda says, when you stand at the base of the mountain you have to climb, all you have to do is see the next step. Exactly. It doesn't have to be a mountain as long as all you have to do is look at the next step. And I'll tell you, I'm going to read you something. This has been a mantra in my life, and I'm going to read it for you all tonight. Because if you're feeling like this, or you're feeling like you don't know how you're going to make it, this has been something that has been guided me, and it's something that has sat in my office for probably 20 years. Okay, our friend with the email said it took her about a week, and she kicked its ass. So what pile do you have that you need to kick its ass? Do you have a pile of paperwork? Do you have a pile of invoices? Do you have a pile of collections? Do you have a pile of responses that are really kicking your ass? What do you know is piling up that if you would just face it, you would change everything in your world? And here's a little tip before I read this to you. If you would do this for 20 minutes, put on your timer, put your timer on for 20 minutes and go at it for 20 minutes, knowing, your brain knowing, I only have to do this for 20 minutes. I can get through anything if I just do 20 minutes. And then as soon as that timer goes off, you must stop. And you have to walk away from it, go into another room, go for a walk, do something else, take a break. for 20 minutes. And when that timer goes off, go back to it. And go at it for 20 minutes. Okay? And then when that 20 minutes, take another 20-minute break. And then come back for your third round. And that's day 1. You don't do more than 3 sets of 20 increments. That's it. And day 2, you do it again. All right? Day 3, you do it again. And I'll bet you money that by day 3, you can't stop because you've got so much momentum. I'm telling you, it changes it, and it changes it fast. And it's exciting because you know what? You know you've got the evidence right in front of you that you're no longer being owned by that pile. Whatever it is, you've got the evidence, and you know you've got the capacity to do it. All right. I'm going to read this to you. I think it's a poem that was given to me quite a long time ago by a very, very dear friend, and it was my very first big job. It was with Alouette Cosmetics, and it's called Don't Quit. And they inspired me so much on this path to not quitting my dreams. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're drudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how good you are. It may be near when it seems afar. Stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things go wrong that you must not quit. You must not quit, my friends, because you know what? Your desires are not going to go away. And you can change it as long as you continue to have your own back. And I would love to be a support for you. I would love to help you along the way. Tell me what it is that you desire and require. Let's see what we can do to make that happen. Let's see how we can change this world for all of us. Because you know what? When you follow your heart, when you follow your desires, when you make your dreams come true, you change the energy in the world for others to change it for them too. So good. Next week, I would love for you to connect. Come back in, play with me. Next week, the show is called What Does My Future Self Know? It's going to be a follow-up to this show. And it's something that's really been exciting to me to start looking at. So what does my future self know? I am so grateful for each and every one of you being here. I'm so, so grateful for each and every one of you contributing to the world and being willing to choose greater in your own life. I know that when each and every one of us step forward in our own lives and continue to choose even when it feels like we're bleeding from the inside out, I know that we make a difference in the world. And the first place that we make a difference in the world is with our own. So remember, today it's all about the clean slate. What's that one thing that you're going to be celebrating, not just desiring to, but are going to be celebrating at the end of 2018? That you can start to make a path. You can start to make a clear step-by-step forward to change it, beginning right now. Remember, friends, you don't have to know all the steps. You just have to be willing to start, just taking one step. I so appreciate you being here. Please check out all the replays, the archives in the Inspired Choices Network. And stay tuned. We're going to be announcing our brand new radio show host here on the Inspired Choices Network. The contest is going to be announced on Friday. Thank you so much, my friends. Have an amazing week. And remember, you can always make another choice. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.